Hey, what's up folks? My name is Alvin Lewis Jones Sr., better known as AJ. Going to do a little Prince talk for you. All my friends, family, co-workers, they all know how much I love Prince. Prince is one of my favorite artists, probably my favorite artist of all time. And people always ask me, why Prince? All these amazing artists through the history of music, what is it about this guy that just moves you the way he does? And let's set the stage. So you have to go back in time. So here it is. It's 1979. I graduating high school and 19 years old, and music is huge in my life. I was DJing. I think I had got a little raggedy drum set that I was trying to play around on, and all of a sudden this record came out, and the record was called I Want to Be Your Lover, and it took R&B radio by storm. You heard the song, you heard this wonderful falsetto, and then we saw what would be the precursor to like a video, because they didn't have videos back then. There was no MTV yet. And it was amazing. It was like, yo, look at this dude, you know? And so I kind of was feeling them. All my friends were Michael Jackson fans. Michael Jackson was like their hero. And I can get it, because, you know, Michael was that child star. He was growing up, turning to the young man, and he was becoming, you know, the legend he was on his way to be. And he didn't know much about Prince yet. So I heard the record and just loved it, thought it was great. A few months go by, and then this is the song that did it for me. I heard this song called Sexy Dancer. The song came out, it was this hot, crisp, funk-driven groove that just set me on fire. I was like, who the hell is this? And they said, Prince. I was like, Prince? The same dude with the high voice? Nah, this ain't the same cat. So I run to the record store. I lived in Hackensack, New Jersey, and we had two record stores on Hackensack. We had the Record King that was way uptown, and we had, I don't even know what George's record store was called, but the owner of the store was a guy named George. I loved him so much. I brought so much product from him, and we became real tight because he loved music the way I did. So I ran in there, brought the record, came home, put the record on. Oh my God, knocked me out. Because even at that point in his career, Prince was very eclectic. You have cuts like Bambi, I Feel For You, obviously I Want to Be a Lover, Sexy Dancer. It just showed the breadth and the scope of what his vision was. But it wasn't until you start reading those liner notes and you realize the cat wrote everything. He played everything. He sang everything. He engineered everything for the most part. And you're like, really? The only guy we knew that was doing stuff like that was probably Stevie Wonder. So it was like, all right, this is amazing. So I literally wore that record out. I mean, out. So it dawned on me, hey man, go back to the record store. I run back to the record store after I wore this record out. I said, hey, does this Prince dude got anything else out? He's like, yeah, his first album. I said, let me have that. So I brought his first album, which was called For You. So I actually heard his second album first and his first album second. I came home and threw that on. Oh my God, it opens up with this angelic a cappella, multi-layered vocal thing where he just, and he just soars with his voices. Like, I was like, this is one dude making all these voices? Amazing. That album was a little uneven, because he was getting his legs underneath him. He was trying to figure out his vision. But he had a couple sneaky things on there. And Soft and Wet was the biggest hit that came off of that. Very erotic, very sensual. And again, remember, I was that 19-year-old young man. You know, my hormones were starting to kick in and rage, so those lyrics spoke to me. And I just galvanized to him. So those first two records set me up on that journey. And then he dropped his third record, which was Dirty Mind, which literally freaked America out, because I don't know if you can see behind me, but on the poster that came out, the Dirty Mind album, this poster is from 1980. Here we are sitting in 2021. That's how old this poster is. This is the original poster out of my album. Okay, I framed it up so I could have it. This is a collector's item. I get a lot of flack for this poster from people. Yo, why you got a man on your wall with bikini briefs on? It's not a man, brother. That's Prince. Okay, don't get it twisted. That's a legend. Okay. But he just came out with the bikini briefs, the trench coat, the thigh-high boots, you know, very androgynous. We didn't know if he was straight or gay. And then the content on that song, he had a song on there called Sister, which was about incest with his sister. What? Okay. Then you flip from that to something like Uptown and Dirty Mind, and just, oh my God, it was amazing. So those first 3 records out the box, they just started reeling me in. He dropped Controversy. Controversy, again, he continued that theme, especially with the song Controversy, because at that point he was really understanding that, hey, I can ride this because people like that, they like controversy. So again, am I straight or gay? Am I black or white? You know, he really followed them themes up and really kept you on that edge, trying to find out who this dude was. And then he dropped his first magnum opus. That record was called 1999. It wasn't one record, it was a double record. And when Prince dropped 1999, he made a message that he was definitely here to stay. That record, really, he dropped that R&B groove that knocked everybody out, the dance grooves. He had the seminal pop hit, which was a Little Red Corvette that just captured the world. And then MTV was springing up. And when they put that video in 1999 in heavy rotation, it elevated his status as somebody not only to pay attention to, but somebody who was here. He was here to make some noise. So that really, you know, started getting us in a froth. And if you look on that record, there's a little tagline for the revolution. That was the first time that he had said that the revolution was a part of who he was trying to be. And when he dropped Purple Rain, that was it. That was it. I hated Purple Rain, not the record. I loved the record, loved the movie. Saw the movie like 11 times. I saw it in the theater, saw it in the drive-in. I just kept going back because the movie to me was just amazing. It was that quasi-semi-autobiographical story where he told his tale and weaved it inside this amazing music. But that's not why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because prior to Purple Rain and probably prior to 1999, Prince was our guy. Prince was an underground guy that he was us. So the folks that were in the know, we had him. He was our hero. We were down for the cause. And when he dropped Purple Rain, it was a wrap. He exploded. Okay. After Purple Rain, everybody knew Prince was. And so we no longer had him to ourselves, and he became the beginning of who he became for the masses. And that's when his star elevated. So that's just the short reason why I love Prince, because it was that journey he took. It's the fact that he's an incredible lyricist. He's an incredible performer. The fact that he was playing all these instruments was just amazing to me. And it's the way he wrote his lyrics. You know, I can say, hey, baby, I want to throw you on the floor and I want to screw your brains out. But he would wrap that in such a message. He would be saying the exact same thing, but he would say it with such a way that it took you a minute to catch on what he was saying. And then when you got it, you're like, yeah, okay, I got it. Now, obviously, he did songs like Jack You Off, Head, you know, Do Me, Baby, which are straight erotic, where you listen to the title of the song. But even in those songs, you listen to the lyrics and how he drives it to his point that he's making. And then the fact that he turned around and built this empire. I had the pleasure of going to Paisley Park in 2019 after his death, and I have to tell you, when I walked into that place, I felt like I was walking into a cathedral. I felt like I was walking on hallowed ground. I felt like I was going somewhere where I was having a spiritual, out-of-body experience, and to know that he put this together with his vision, where he could do his music, where he could do his soundstage live, where he had his own fashion department to do his own clothes. He had his own graphic department where he could do his own graphic work. He had offices there to do his business. He had that space where the fans could come in and he could throw his own parties, not just intimate parties in the MPG club, but out on the big main live room where he could bring 1,000 people in. So the man's vision was extraordinary. But the number one thing that I truly, truly loved about him was most of the stars, when they get famous, they leave home and they go to the big city and they post up, and then they get sucked into a vortex of a whole nother world with all these other characters. Prince never left home. He had wonderful places in other cities, but he never left home. Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, because the place was actually outside of Minneapolis, but he never let go of what made him who he was, and that was the state of Minnesota. And he held true to his roots, because when Prince first came up, very much like Bob Marley, people see Bob Marley and think Jamaica embraced Bob Marley. They didn't embrace Bob Marley in the beginning. It wasn't until he became the hero and he came home. And the same with Prince. His early shows weren't like that till he started blowing up. Then the people embraced him. But he never let go of home. And there's something to be said for that. That's that loyalty thing that I preach and I'm seriously all about. So that's the beginning of why I like Prince. So I'm going to do a series of these so you can take you down different avenues of thought processes I have about the artist who really means a lot to me as I sit here in my studio. All of this really is because of the influence this man had on me. So I just want to let you see why I like him the way I do. Okay? It's the brother AJ, Al Jones signing off. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.